It's much better in terms of building trust and relationship to start with your unique understanding of their needs, what they're looking for in their business, what commercial outcomes are they after. G'day, this is Peter Anthony from Next Gen X Professional for Lawyers, joined by Damien Andrews. Say g'day, Damien.
Hello, everybody, and it's a pleasure to be here chatting with you.
We're talking now about this idea in selling legal services that originally came from Kevin Costner, and that was the build it and they will come. Build a big shiny presentation, a big credentials presentation, and the more slides and the shinier they are, and the more charts and flow charts and maps of the world we have on it, the more likely it is the client will engage. Have you found that to be a problem too, Damien?
100%, Peter. It is really a difficult problem. I love that you mentioned shiny things because I love shiny things personally. I'm a Leo rat, and so I love shiny things. But the reality is, in this situation, when you're selling, especially for professionals, particularly lawyers, the career path is very much around the technical. They need to have that technical knowledge. Law is very, very complex. It requires a lot of understanding of not just legislation, but also case law, authorities. That needs to be well embedded and understood. So there is a tendency to focus on that technical aspect. And when you put that into a nice, shiny presentation that's all focused on technical, you're missing the relationship component, that's the part where you create trust. And sales is all about creating trust. Is that your understanding as well, Peter? Is that what you've experienced?
Yeah, absolutely. And that is the key word, trust. And rather than dazzle them with a shiny presentation about how big and wide and broad the firm is and how many services you offer, it's much better in terms of building trust and relationship to start with your unique understanding of their needs, what they're looking for in their business, what commercial outcomes are they after, what big matters does that organization need to address. So that's the place to start. It's beginning where they are, if you like, and then once they're engaged with your understanding of their needs, you can then talk about how you're uniquely placed to deliver on that particular set of circumstances. That's the way to build trust, and that's the way to build business. And again, it's not about selling; it's about understanding. You're in line with that too, aren't you, Damien?
100%, Peter, because when we take it that level further to relationships, one of the things we do at Next Gen X is to focus on how those relationships work. And there's a lot of unconscious behavior that happens, unconscious thinking that helps create that trust, that creates rapport. And there are certain techniques that work in creating rapport at an unconscious level. So you can create that relationship of trust without having to go through fancy dialogue and spiel and spin. You can actually, just by being authentic and you, but allowing that authentic person, to actually go across to the other person and enter their unconscious mind, you can create a great connection where you build that trust at a very, very deep level. And that's one of the things at Next Gen X we really focus on is taking you through some practical applications as to how to do that. And you'll know from your own experience working in law, when you get up in front and speak, especially for barristers, when you're speaking in a court, it's a very intimidating environment. I've done it myself. And the more experience you have, actual practical experience, the better you become at doing that. How else, Peter, do we help people get to that practical experience?
Well, it's behavioural flexibility too, Damien. As you mentioned, it is initially about building that rapport, building that authentically. And lawyers traditionally are rewarded for being adversarial. It's an adversarial role. You're working on one side of the matter or the other, looking to defeat, if you like, the other party. And the people that tend to become senior partners or managing partners in law firms are people who are very good at that adversarial piece. So it's about understanding when and how to have that behavioural flexibility to shift from the adversarial role into the client relationship role, which is, as we know, the opposite of selling. It's about building relationship, building trust, building rapport, as you mentioned. And if this is something that sounds of interest to you, please reach out to either Damien or I so you can find out more about Next Gen X Professional for Lawyers. We'd be keen to talk to you and how we can craft one of our programs around helping you build your business. We'll see you next time.